Hello and welcome to another episode of Stock Shots. Please remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just giving my opinion based on some things I see, like support and resistance, supply, demand, and of course, some indicators that may be on the screen. So always do your own due diligence. Make sure you educate yourself and always look to the left because we're looking at things that have already happened and think about what things may do in the future. So this is another episode of Stock Shots. Welcome. Here we go. So right now we're talking about one of our favorite funds. It's the S fund, and this is the Dow Jones Industrial pretty much. And as you see, we came to the bottom of the channel. So if you got spooked this week from the Fed talking, they brought down the market on Thursday. Friday, we had a little bit of a push up. So at this point, we are at the bottom of our trading channel. We need to see if it's going to break down, but essentially it looks like it wanted to, and then it just started pushing right back up. So is our next target going to be at 2205 again? So this was a pullback. So if you were in the G fund and you wanted to get in again, this may be an entry. Next week you will get confirmation. So you don't want to jump ahead of your trade or ahead of moving your funds. You want to wait for confirmation. 1 week is not going to kill your investment. It's not going to kill your retirement. So you can wait for that confirmation in the next week coming. So let's go ahead and jump over to our next fund, which will be the C fund. Once again, this was just like a pullback. It seems like now we are going back up based on what we're looking at. But let's look at the other funds. Here's the C fund. Same thing, bottom of the trading channel. Okay, so at this point, we rested right on our resistance. Our support. Our support was at 5201. We're currently at 5204 for the C fund. So with that being said, do we have room to go up? We had a lot of negative selling pressure here in this week, but it still is not as big as our buying pressure we had about 1, 2, 3 weeks ago, and it still stayed above that support. So at this point, I'm looking forward to continue up to 54.49. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we're getting some bounce here. It looks like we're getting some bounce here on our moving average and our indicator, and everything has always been a buy zone, hasn't been a sell zone for a while. Also, we're looking at a bounce off of support, and we're at the bottom of a trading channel. So those are a couple things. I'll turn the indicator on, see what I got here. Okay, so I bounced off of that 9-day moving average as well. I'm still in a buy zone. Green, 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 and I'm above that. So I'm still in all green areas. So for the C fund, let's keep going up. All right, let's go to our next one. That's the international fund, EFA. All right, what the international fund, it looks like we could be doing the same exact thing. We had a lot of selling pressure here, but we still rested on this support right here at 79.01. We're still in that area. We came down below it to about a 78.46, and we popped back up to 78.97 for the week. With this being some of the strongest selling pressure that we've had, let's do some simple things here. Simple. All right. Let's do a trend line. Actually, let's not do a trend line. Let's do a channel. Right there. So for the international fund, looks like we're doing the same exact thing. We are at the bottom of our trading channel. We are bouncing off of a moving average down here in the indicator, and we are at a point of support. Let's turn on the indicator here. We're still in the buy zone. We never came down to meet that 9-day moving average, but we are pretty close. So one of the things I will say is that depending on the type of moving average you use, it could be simple, it can be estimated, but it can even be VWAP. But depending on where it's at and depending on what models you use, this could be hitting a moving average for you. For me, it's not. I'm using the simple moving averages. I like them because they're smoother. But for me, I'm still all in. It's a buy. So if you happen, once again, to be in your G fund and you're like, oh man, I'm missing it, you don't have to worry about that. You can wait for a week to get confirmation on what you want to do and how you want to move your money around. So let's go to our last fund. That's the bond fund. Let's see what's going on there. All right, so at this point, we have hit what we thought was going to happen. There's $96.49. We started bouncing up a little bit. Is it going to push up? Man, I'm not sure. So once again, what happened this week was the Fed came out and started talking, and they were very hawkish. Hawkish Fed means people do not want to leave their money in the market. So what happened literally is we came down, we hit the 0.382 on the Fib retracement. Now, if we continue to bounce in an upward movement, meaning if we go from where we are currently here and continue up, this will mark a strong trend. So let's make it even simpler. Are we doing another? Here we go. Yeah, we're going to do another trend line because we're going to make it simple for ourselves to see. And so if you're doing from wicks or you're doing from bodies, a trend line is a trend line. If you get a break of a trend line, that means you're probably going to, here we go, 97.94. So if we break that 97.94 area, we'll probably be looking to get to our next area, which is that 98.31. Breaking that is where I'll be completely interested in that $99 or $100 range. So this is our main resistance here is at 98.31. Once it breaks that area, hey, we're good to go. We can keep moving with the aggregated bond fund, aka the F fund. So once again, if you're worried about your TSP and you're like, I'm not sure what I should do, just wait. There's no rush. You got the rest of this year, which most likely will be green because it's an election year. We're going to have a lot of good days in the green. You got to have some red to make sure you get good entries into that green. So good luck with your TSPs. I hope you stay in the green just like me, and we'll see what happens going further down the road. See you next week.